Welcome back to part 12. We're cracking on with this tool chest now. Effectively, we've got a tool chest already, you can put stuff in it, but what we're going to do now is we're going to start fitting out the interior. So we're going to put the drawer runners in to take two sliding trays, and then in part 13 we'll start making the trays. So as an overview, if we look at the green tool chest, we've got 1/2 inch ply which goes alongside the lower tray but acts as the runner for the top tray, and then we've got a block of ply, that's laminated ply, that then sticks out underneath this one to be the runner for the lower tray. And obviously that one then supports this one as well, so it's not like they're taking much weight anyway. They don't need gluing. You might want to adjust them or change them at some point, so they're just going to be screwed in. Getting the positioning is right, and it's better to almost work from the top down. We know what size we want to make the top tray. It's going to be 70mm sides with a 12mm bottom, so that's 82. So I generally set this down 85. And then we know the size of this tray, and we add on 3mm to that to give ourselves a little bit extra, and then we set the bottom one, which can go anywhere really, so you can move everything up and down. You can make your trays different sizes if you want. But as an overview, I'm going to go through on the whiteboard the sizes. Right, I've turned the lights off because the LEDs are making everything flash. So if you look at your tool chest, if you've made it to the size that we've done it, the interior from the top of the side should be 385mm. What we're going to do is forget about the bigger bottom runner at the moment. To the bottom of where that tray runs, so to the top of that bottom runner, we're going to have 175mm. Then for that bottom tray, we're going to leave 125mm. So that's how big this piece of plywood will be, the 1/2 inch. And then that leaves us then 85 at the top to run the top tray. And you generally make the top tray 82, so there's 3mm clearance, and you make this one 122, so there's 3mm clearance. So you can see here, top tray, 70mm side, sat on a 12mm base, 82, 3mm clearance. Lower tray, 110 sides with a 12mm base, 122, 3mm clearance. So this 175 you can work up, 175, put this one in first, this 1/2 inch one, then put this block underneath it, and this block can be as tall as you want. It's just going down into fresh air. And generally what I do is laminate a 1/2 inch and an 18mm, so that for the deeper tray, the heavier tray, that it's got 18mm of runner space, whereas the smaller tray sits on the 12mm fine. So that's your overall measurements, 385 made up of 175, 125 and 85. So we'll have a look back at the tool chest. Okay, so for the bottom runner, I've glued together a 12mm and an 18mm together. I've drilled and countersunk 5 holes to screw it to the side of the carcass, and then when I attached it and glued it, I screwed it from the other side, so those screws will then be hidden. That just helped with clamping and gluing up. So that one will be screwed in, but what I've done is cut to fit the inside of the carcass a piece of half inch ply. I've just countersunk holed 6 holes, and then I just cut 2 175mm spacers from some scrap. It just helps, so that positions it. And literally all I've got to do is pop 6 25mm screws into there to hold that piece. Once that's held, I can then just get the bigger piece for the lower tray and put it in straight underneath it and push it up to it, and then screw that one in. Typically with this one, 40mm screws are probably not going into the carcass enough, and 45 are probably just very close to coming out the other side. And I should have adjusted my countersink, but I didn't. So that's the that's the sides. If you decide that you want to put an extra pillar underneath that you see in some traditional toolboxes, you can, but it's not taking a massive amount of weight. And all I've got to do is buzz those 6 screws in, pop the lower rail in, that's got 5 screws in, and that's the runners on that side. The other check you can do is that we know that this should be 85 millimeters to the top, so you can set your combination gauge, your combination square to 85, and you can just check it by running it along. This is just sitting loose there at the minute, but you can just, it's just a little check just before you put the screws in. So I'll check that, and I'm happy with that. The spacers are doing their job underneath, just makes it a little bit easier. So I can just pop 1 screw in there. I'm just going to back off the torque on there a bit. You just want to get the screws below the surface, because obviously you don't want the sides of your trays catching on screw heads. Now I can take the spacers out of the way, and then get the larger run positioned underneath, and then I'll risk it with one of the bigger screws to start off with. Let's see. That seems okay, although I need to tighten it up. So I'll just put the rest of those screws in, and then that already is the runners set up for the 2 trays, and then I'll just do the same on the other side, and that's as simple as that. Now onto the other side. So again, spacers I've moved across. I can just double check it. My combination square. Pop my screws in. Probably normally do this from the direction of where I've had to put the camera, but leaning over here isn't so bad. Just give them a little bit more. Take the spacer out of the way, bring this one up and in. That's it, job done. That's how quick it is. Once you've prepared your timber, cut it to size. So that's the runners in. So we're ready to start making the trays. So I'm going to leave it at that for part 12. Part 11 was a bit mixed. Part 12 was literally just fitting the runners and getting it ready for us to start kitting out the interior. So really happy with that. The lid being more vertical is good. We've now got a tool chest, so I'll see you in the next part, and we'll start making some trays and fitting out the interior of it. Thank you for watching.